The Morning Plum, The New York Times has obtained a long list of questions that Special Counsel Robert S. Mueller III wants to pose to President Trump in a sit-down interview. One crucial revelation from the Times is this: after seeing these questions, which are mostly geared at determining whether Trump obstructed justice, Trump's former attorney, John Dowd, became even more convinced that Trump should not sit for this interview because of their tone and detailed nature. Trump apparently disagreed, and Dowd subsequently quit because he concluded his advice was not being followed. In short, Trump doesn't see any threat from these questions. As he tweeted moments ago, there are no questions on collusion. Actually, there are, and it would seem very hard to obstruct justice if no crime was committed. Actually, you can. Here are 3 big takeaways from Mueller's questions. The collusion issue is far from settled. Despite Trump's tweet, and despite the exoneration in the sham House GOP Intel Committee report, Mueller's questions suggest that the possibility of a Russia-Trump campaign conspiracy is very much alive. Mueller wants to ask Trump when he became aware of the Trump Tower meeting, which top Trump officials undertook in hopes of getting dirt on Hillary Clinton from the Russian government, what Trump's role was in drafting that statement for Donald Trump Jr. that falsified the rationale for that meeting, and what Trump knew about Russian email hacking during the campaign. On that last one, remember that the genesis of the probe was that Trump advisor George Papadopoulos had been told that Russia had dirt on Clinton in the form of thousands of emails. We don't know if Papadopoulos communicated this to Trump campaign higher-ups. Mueller appears to want to ask if Trump himself knew about it. Mueller also wants to ask whether Trump knew of any outreach by campaign chair Paul Manafort about potential assistance to the campaign, which is tantalizing because it means Mueller may know something we don't. These should remind everybody forcefully that the special counsel is going to raise questions about a conspiracy between a foreign power and the Trump campaign to illegally influence the outcome of a presidential election. Bob Bauer, the former White House counsel under President Barack Obama, told me this morning. Mueller knows a lot more about possible obstruction of justice than we do. According to the questions, Mueller wants to ask Trump what the purpose was of his Feb. 14, 2017, meeting with then FBI Director James B. Comey, and what was said. Comey has claimed that Trump pressed him to drop the probe into Michael Flynn, which Trump denies. The Democratic rebuttal to the GOP Intelligence Committee report informs us that Comey extensively briefed multiple FBI officials about his conversations with Trump just after they happened. Mueller has interviewed those officials and wants to press Trump on his denial with their testimony in mind as counter-evidence. Mueller also wants to ask Trump directly about when and why the decision to fire Comey was made. As the Times notes, Mueller has interviewed other White House officials about the conversations that went into this and will be able to compare Mr. Trump's answers to what he has learned elsewhere. In both these cases, Mueller has almost certainly established far more about Trump's intent in trying to derail the probe than the public reporting indicates. Trump's team may be laying the groundwork to avoid the interview. The Times reports that Mueller's questions were leaked by a person outside Mr. Trump's legal team. This doesn't preclude it being someone close to Trump who is not on that team, or that his team may have arranged the leak via someone else. Bauer suggests to me that in revealing the questions, and demonstrating how wide a range of subjects they touch on, Trump's team may be laying the foundation for saying Trump won't do the interview. Bauer adds that Trump's allies may start a drumbeat criticizing the breadth of the questions, claiming that Mueller is ranging beyond his brief. Bauer notes that in this telling, Trump's public claims that he wants to do the interview are a head fake, and that in reality, the leaked questions could help lay the pretext for arguing that there's no advantage to Trump in interviewing with Mueller, that he's out of control. That would make some sense. After all, Trump's Twitter bluster notwithstanding, now that we've seen the questions, it's even more obvious that this interview would be a dangerous minefield for him. New impeachment articles against Rosenstein. The Post reports that a handful of Trump allies in Congress have drafted articles of impeachment against Deputy Attorney General Rod J. Rosenstein as a last resort. But the group's impeachment draft would face many challenges if it were referred to the House Judiciary Committee for consideration. Republican leaders have kept their distance from calls to remove Rosenstein from office, and Democrats have argued that the GOP's clashes with the Deputy Attorney General are little more than a pretext to weaken Mueller's efforts. Even if GOP leaders have kept their distance, if Trump fires Rosenstein, they will fall in line. This effort, while ostensibly about getting documents, is really about creating a pretext for that. Where's the investment from GOP tax cut? The New York Times reports that the acceleration in business investment that Republicans promised their tax law would bring has yet to materialize. So far, hard evidence of such an acceleration has yet to appear in economic data. And while there are pockets of the economy where investment is picking up, corporate spending on buying back stock is increasing at a far faster clip, prompting a debate about whether the law is returning money to the overall economy or just rewarding a small segment of investors. Yes, that is one way to put it. The other way to put it is that many predicted that this is exactly what would happen. Obamacare sabotage is working. Axios reports that the Commonwealth Fund has released a new study showing the uninsured rate is rising again.